All right, all right, all right. We are live and we are going to be going over the book, The Happiness Advantage. There's a couple things that I'm going to be bringing up. So why the book? You know, for me, I'm a pretty happy guy. I like what I do. I am surrounded by good friends, good family. I understand the ability to look at how lucky we are to be having water, fresh water, food, clothing, shelter, everything around us, all these modern conveniences that was never here for millions of years. And then we have it today in 2019 and we are still unhappy. Okay, so there's actually a combination of reasons why I believe this is the way that it is because one of them is that we are receiving so much sensory input that we're not only using all of our mental energy to take in this sensory input, could be movies, YouTube, Netflix, all these things on our screens, that all of our mental capacity, energy, and then we get tired mentally by consuming all of this input, and then we have no outlet for productivity. We have no outlet for creativity. We have no outlet for passion. And especially if you're a male, I was thinking about this yesterday, is that if you're a male and you haven't read the book by David Deida, The Way of the Superior Man, you need a mission. You need to be going on a path, okay? And for women as well, is that the interpersonal connectivity that you get between friends is necessary for your happiness. It's especially true for women, but it's essentially for everyone. So we're going to go over, actually before we go over the book, why I actually picked up this book. So as you guys know, I started Ironman training, and that really zonks your energy. You know, your sleep, your fuel, your nutrition, your schedule, it just goes completely out of whack. You're waking up early, you're just pushing yourself, then you're going to work, you're coming home, maybe you have a swim session. I have 2 swim sessions a night every single week, and then obviously for the rest of the nights, I'm getting ready literally for the next day. So I felt this lingering unhappiness. So a lot of people that have been triathlon training have mentioned it as kind of it's like a fatigue. It's an ongoing fatigue. But for me, I don't like fatigue. Okay, I like the happiness. I like the feeling that I'm pushing myself towards something. Yet I didn't like the feeling afterwards during the day because I pushed myself too hard. And then I started learning about fuel and nutrition and sleep, and I started dialing that down. So blah blah blah. So I picked up this book. I then picked up his second book right here. I take off the book cover so people on the subway aren't like, oh, what are you reading? Is it good? Yes, it's good. Go read. This one, so this is his next book, which is Before Happiness. But let me read the opening, the introduction. This is crazy, okay? Put your socks back on. Get ready to get your mind blown, all right? It's a little bit long, but follow with me. I just posted it on Instagram. Here we go. If you observe the people around you, you'll find most individuals follow a formula that has been subtly or not so subtly taught to them in schools, their company, their parents, society, that if you work hard, you will become successful. And once you become successful, then you'll be happy. So once you become successful, then you'll be happy. This pattern of belief explains what most often motivates us in life. We think that if I just get that raise or I hit that next sales target, I'll be happy. If I just get that next good grade, I'll be happy. If I lose 5 pounds, I'll be happy, and so on. Success first, happiness second. Except the only problem is that this formula is broken. If success causes happiness, then every employee who gets a promotion, every student who gets an acceptance letter, everyone who has accomplished a goal of any kind should be happy. But with every victory, our goalposts of success keep getting pushed further and further out. So that success gets pushed out over the horizon. But even more important is that the formula is broken because it's backwards. More than a decade of groundbreaking research, blah, blah, blah. Thanks to this cutting edge science, we now know that happiness is the precursor to success, not the result. Well, I don't know about you, but that was pretty powerful. And for multiple reasons is that he goes into the book and he I'll go into a couple of the principles, but the number, he has 7 of them. And the 7 principles of why success is second and happiness has to be first. And it's everything afterwards. Everything afterwards, optimism, creative thinking, the ability to be solution oriented. So here are the 7 principles. I'll go over them extremely quickly, and then I'll go into what actually makes us happy. So number 1 is the happiness advantage, is that being positive has a biological advantage over our brains than neutral or negative. So in other words, you just being happy already has a biological, and he goes into the science of why biology has actually made people with happy brains better, because before that we actually needed to have negative brains, and the negative brains were, there's a saber-toothed tiger, there's someone that wants to kill you within the tribe, and you don't want to be banished from the tribe. Number 2, the fulcrum lever. So as he explains, if you don't know what a fulcrum lever, it's a teeter-totter, and then you have like a little triangle thing, and obviously you can move the triangle thing, and you can lift anything. And I think it was Aristotle said, give me a fulcrum and a lever long enough and I can lift the world. I think it was Aristotle that said that. So the fulcrum and lever, how we experience the world and our ability to succeed within it constantly changes based on our mindset. This principle teaches us we can adjust our mindset. So this comes back to neuroplasticity. This comes back to just the ability that how our brain our brain fires, it wires together. So if we're always consistently looking at the world in a negative point of view, it's that those 2 girls that walk out, and one girl says, "Wow, look at this beautiful day. It's so sunny," and then the other one walks out and they say, "Oh, look at this beautiful day. It's so hot out." It's the same thing. Nothing's changed. It's how you see the world. Number 3, the Tetris effect. When our brains get stuck in a pattern that focuses on stress, negativity, and failure, we set up ourselves for failure. So obviously a lot of people have actually equated this to the game Grand Theft Auto, where they literally see, because they play it so often, and because they're so often and for hours at a time, they go into the real world and they just start thinking within the game, within the real world. But imagine if we're online looking only at negative things, if we're only looking at news, and then we go into the real world, or we go into a meeting, our brain, because of the Tetris effect, in other words, you just see things, as he talks about, people that have played Tetris, is that their studies, they literally look at everything as objects within Tetris. It's crazy. Falling up. In other words, the mindset of defeat, stress, and crisis, how does that affect you? The Zorro effect is that when challenges loom and we get overwhelmed, our rational brains get hijacked by emotions. That's everything, all right? Everything is emotions, but the thing is, how often or how much of your emotions is running your life? Everything. Whether you want to do something or not do something, it's run by emotions. It's too much. The 20-second rule, so in other words, if something is going to take longer than 20 seconds, you're more likely not going to do it. All right? The best example of that was when you had a mail-in rebate, and they knew that you were not going to mail in the rebate. So they obviously said, you're going to get $50 off if you do this mail-in rebate. Nobody mailed in the rebate because it took too long, or to unsubscribe from an email. I told my mom, I'm like, you get way too many emails. I'm like, unsubscribe from this. She goes, it's too much. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom and press unsubscribe. Look for that little link. I did that consistently for 3 months. My email is amazing now. My email is pretty much nothing. Social investment, obviously that's the people that you surround yourself with, and it goes pretty deep. It has amazing reviews online. I thought it was good. It kind of reminded me that most people are chasing something, and they feel that by chasing something, they're getting closer to what they would say is happiness. Happiness, by the way, has a baseline. My happiness is small. I could just be alive. Someone else's baseline is, I need to be doing something with people I love in an environment that is at a beach. That's their baseline of happiness, which is so unrealistic. So if you're not there doing that, or if it's raining and you're on a beach, or you don't like the people, but you're still on a beach, where's your level of happiness? Okay, I think this is going to be extremely important. I was out to dinner with a couple of guys yesterday, which, by the way, is very important. I think most of this audience is males, but even if not, just go out with your guy friends, because with no girls, or if your girls go out with no guys, because I started bantering ideas off that really, and especially like-minded people, is this one guy brought up by Noel Harari or whatever. He wrote Sapiens and then he wrote Homo Deus, or Homo Deus. Homo Deus. Homo Deus. And Homo Deus pretty much, which I haven't read, so I can't go into everything, but I know a lot of people that have read it. And he talks about in there is that in the future, we're going to have a universal basic income, because all the jobs are going to be pretty much just computers. You know, you're not going to need to have a teller at a bank. We're going to have self-driving cars, which means no taxi drivers, which means no truck drivers. That means no mechanics. That means no gas stations. You know, do you understand the millions of jobs that currently covers? Just the transportation industry that's going to get completely disrupted. So he talks about universal basic income, but the problem with that, in a lot of smart people, especially Peter Diamandis, who wrote Bold, and he's out, he has a ton of projects going on, very wealthy venture capitalist and entrepreneur out in California. But he said something very interesting. He has a great podcast, highly recommend you. I forgot the name of the podcast, but he brought up there is that you still need meaning. And this is very important for men, is that you still need meaning in life. You cannot, you could have everything, but if there is no reason, there is no reason to be waking up. You know, I've talked about it before, is that there's, black men, suicide rate, pretty much flat. Asian men, pretty much flat. But white men, it's like this. And the reason being is that the jobs that they used to have, say the farms, like middle of America, the farms that they had, or the business that they had that was passed down for generations, has been taken away. And I'm not saying rightly or wrongly, I'm talking about the actual meaning. And because they don't have a job, they can't find a spouse, because the woman is making more money and she wants to have someone on her even playing field. That's just evolutionary biology 101, is that the woman wants someone on her socio and economical equivalence or above. And these guys, they have no business, so they have no meaning, and then they have no spouse, and their suicide rate is this, because they're saying, why am I waking up? What is the point of this? That's the biggest thing. So these books, this, and then his next book, which I literally just started, are necessary, because we're chasing, say, the gentleman, and listen, I can't put myself in those shoes, but those gentlemen are potentially chasing, I need a wife, or I need a job to feel special. What if you're calling, and that's the thing is he talks about in this book, is that what if a street sweeper says that his calling, and it's not about the money that you make, it's you need to have a calling. You need to have a passion. As Joseph Campbell talks about it, a hero's journey. If you don't have that, then why exist? Why are you here? Why are you waking up? What motivates you? Why even push away the things that make you happy, say the artificial things, Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, TV, all that other, bad food, that stuff makes you happy, of course, but that's artificial, okay? That's engineered to make you watch more, okay? So let me just go into the advantages, or the ways to actually get happy. Number one is meditate. So I've actually, because I've heard this so often, and I don't really meditate that much, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. Obviously, there's way too much research to say that I am incorrect by saying it's not good or bad. It is good, okay? The thing is, I don't, and maybe there'll be a time I do. But I think that the reason that people meditate, and I'm gonna tell you this, is because you're able to focus on something. And if you're able to focus on something, because that's what our brains cannot focus on me doing this, understanding if I just heard a car horn, maybe what I'm going to do on Monday, and the project I'm going to do for work after. No, our brains are one singular focused, and we actually get happiness by focusing on one thing, one deep work, as Cal Newport talks about it, one thing, one singular thing, as what's his name, Gary Keller talks about, or Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. So meditate. Number two is find something to look forward to. There's a great story behind this. I forgot where I heard it, but this guy would write his father every single day, because his father lived and the guy was very successful, but his father lived in the middle of America, and he couldn't visit him too often, and he was so busy with his own life, but he knew that his father would be looking forward to the card that his son, that is so emotional just thinking about it. His son would write him a card every single day. And he knew that his father was looking forward to that card. And in the card, he would also bring up, hey, Dad, I'll see you on your 91st birthday. I'll see you on your 92nd. So his dad's always looking forward to getting the card. Then he's looking forward to his son visiting. So you need something to be looking forward to, okay? There's a lot of lonely people that are elderly because they have nothing to look forward to. They have no visitors. They say less than one person visits nursing homes for each person that's in there. It's sad, but I don't know what to do but spread the word. Commit conscious acts of kindness. So in other words, you're not doing it for return. You're saying, beautiful purse. I've done this, and it's interesting. It's really interesting. Really nice suit, man, or nice tie, or awesome shoes, or whatever and the happiness or kindness, I should say, could be a compliment, could be open the door, could be paying for someone's coffee, something like that. Infuse positivity in your surroundings. Obviously, what is your work environment? What does your home look like? Exercise, that's very straightforward. I would say that's my number one thing that brings me happiness. I'm able to focus, which is my meditation of running for an hour on a treadmill, which is not easy. It's easy, but and I do it with no headphones sometimes. Spend money on experiences, not stuff. That's something that a lot of people, and obviously with people that you enjoy, exercise the singular strength, and the singular strength, so that would be, say, building a tool shed or putting together an old car or something like that. Focus on something that you really like doing, and that's going to bring you your happiness. And that's a problem. I think nowadays, I've really thought about this. I really tried to dissect this because you have a lot of people that are in jobs that they want, in relationships that they've wanted. They've had the kids, the 2.2 kids. They've had the house. So they're thinking, okay, if you're looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everything's been taken care of. So then you start going up the layers. And I really want to dissect into Maslow's hierarchy of needs even further, more than the not education that I have around it, because the needs is the meaning. And by the way, I can't find the freaking book. I don't know where I put it. I'll find it somewhere. Maybe it's at Equinox. But in the book by Joseph Campbell, it's the Joseph Campbell collection, he says, you put the meaning on life. Okay, you are the one that does what you feel is important. Okay, and only you can discover that. So in other words, your meaning could be, and I was saying before, a calling could be someone that is a street sweeper or someone that's cleaning the streets and says, I'm doing goodness for the world by cleaning it up. You could have a high executive making millions, tens of millions of dollars, just completely stressed out and saying, I'm burned out by work. That's not a calling, and the other one is. So it's not about the actual success. It's what you put the success on. It's what you put the meaning on. It's what you think is important, where your passion is. All right, so listen, I think it's good. I already had a really good baseline, so this was more of a reminder. So I give it 4.1 stars out of 5. This one I think I'm going to like a little bit more because it's what is the scope, which is his next book, Before Happiness. And again, I take off the cover. What's the lens you got to look through the world to actually have this happiness, and then from that happiness, then you get success. Okay, so pick it up. If you guys have any book recommendations, obviously I think these are a little bit more popular than my other, just philosophical and bullshit videos that I put out before. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Have an amazing day. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm probably going to be talking about that today was the first day that I actually did not train for my triathlon. I missed a workout and my mentality behind it. So hope you guys enjoy, pick up a book, make reading cool, okay? I'll leave you with that, is that people want to learn things, but they're not willing to at least try and learn, okay? The basis is that you are open to knowledge. It's kind of like an alcoholic, is that you're open to knowing that I'm an alcoholic, or if you want to learn something, maybe I'm not the best at this. For me, I'm training for this triathlon. I thought I was a good swimmer. Then I started looking at my times. I was like, I'm not a good swimmer. I need a coach, okay? I might need a run coach. might not have the best form. I don't want to fuck up my knees and my joints when I'm 70, all right? And I'm speaking globally. Anyway, have an amazing day. Enjoy your study. If you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. And as always, it's linked below. Obviously, you get, Amazon sends me like a $4 check a month. So it's not like I break the bank, but that'd be cool if you click. It doesn't matter. Just go fucking buy the book. I don't even care. Give someone else the money. Someone that's homeless. And I will talk to you guys probably on another book review. I'm looking around. I already did this one, but this is another good one with winning in mind. This is actually a very practical book. Highly recommend.